there, my name's Kat Cooper and welcome to my world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today my topic is quite a serious one. It's actually about sensing death, which is not a very happy subject. However, in the last few years I've actually sensed 4 in particular. I will not use the person's real names. Around about mid-December 2011, I woke up and sensed that a friend of mine, whom I had known for approximately 30 years, and I had not seen him for about 9 years, even though I'd spoken to him on the phone and emailed each other. I felt that he was going to die, and I was absolutely so concerned and so sure that I did not dare pick up the phone and ring his number to find out how he was. Unfortunately, approximately 2 weeks later, I received an email from a friend of his. We'll call this guy Adam. That Adam had had a massive heart attack and had passed away on December the 26th, 2011. The next one probably was a little bit more scary for me personally. I was at a friend's home and he had a visitor, and this visitor, we'll call him Bob. He actually came into this home and he sat directly opposite me and he just looked at me, and I felt for the first time in my life that he was actually sending me a telepathic message that he was going to pass away. The actual words I received were, "I know that you know what I know." And it came through so strong, and a few minutes later he left the room and went back to his apartment. And I said to my friend, who was still sitting there with me, I said, "I don't think Bob's got very long to live." And unfortunately, less than 2 weeks later he passed away, and I attended his memorial service. It was very difficult for me to understand why I was getting this kind of impression about people passing away, because it was just so real, or surreal if you want to use that word. And at the funeral service, there was a young girl there who was apparently his granddaughter, was holding a photo of him when he was a lot younger, where he had been attending one of his daughter's weddings, and he looked a lot healthier back then, and he actually looked quite gorgeous really. And I took particular notice of that, and he was in a lovely suit and bow tie, and he just looked fabulous. And then we left there and we went to the wake, and I saw the photo stood up against the wall, and I walked over to it and I just kept looking at it for some reason, and a woman approached and introduced herself and said that she was his first wife, and she asked me would I like a copy of the photo. And I said, "Yes please, I would." So she went out to the car and came back and gave it to me, and I will cherish that for a long time, forever probably. The next occasion actually happened in the same house, though in a different unit on a veranda at another side of this rather large house. And there was a gentleman there. I didn't know him very well. We will say his name was Charlie. And I looked at him and his face was kind of yellow, and I said to him, "I've got a feeling there's something wrong with you. I think really should go see a doctor, and he more or less ignored that and walked away. And I said to the friend that I was sitting with at the time, I said, I think we're going to be attending another funeral very soon. Well, less than 2 weeks later, he was admitted to hospital and passed away 2 days later. I felt really almost kind of connected. That particular day I had my own doctor's appointment, and I was hoping to get up to the hospital to see him just one more time. And as I left my doctor's surgery, I was walking towards the hospital, and I thought, well, I had my mobile phone on me, so I rang the hospital and asked about this particular patient, and was told that he had passed away just 6 hours earlier. So I missed seeing him to say goodbye. The following time involved someone very close to me. I won't mention any names. I'll call him Dave. And he phoned me from Sydney and said he wanted to come down with his girlfriend and look at some units. They wanted to move down here and move out of Sydney. And I felt very strangely that they had chosen the worst time. I sensed a death, and for some reason I actually thought it was my own, so I can't lay claim to this particular person who did pass away. But what happened, they came here, they looked at the unit that was actually next door to where I am, and they were very happy and put in an application, and they stayed about another 3 or 4 days and went back to Sydney. And that particular week, after they'd left, I actually booked a coach to go to Sydney. I wanted to catch up with some other relatives, and I went into the travel agent, and it was just, everything happened really quickly and smoothly, and it was almost like I thought, this is happening too easily, and I couldn't quite shrug off what exactly it was. I just had a funny feeling like that was too easy. That was the only way I could describe it. And what happened was 2 days later, I received a phone call from a person who is close to me, telling me that his girlfriend of 10 years had passed away. And then that kind of clarified why I had felt that when I was at the travel agent that it was too easy. In other words, it would have to be changed, so I had to go back and rearrange the schedule to arrive there in time to attend her funeral service, which I did. And of course, that was a very sad time, and I was very concerned about this person who is very close to me. So I brought him back to my home to stay with me for the next 2 weeks, because I was afraid that he may not handle the situation very well, which is understandable. They had been together for so long. Anyway, I don't particularly wish to have another sense, ever, if I can help it. I just want to thank you all for tuning in today, and I hope to see you another time. Bye for now.